Hello! Today I thought I'd share some lovely art books. The Bird Art of William T. Cooper, the Sketchbook Idea Generator, and 365 Days of Drawing. I always love a bit of creative inspiration, so let's get into them. Firstly is The Bird Art of William T. Cooper, which family members gave me for Christmas. William Cooper was a renowned Australian artist, and this is basically a compilation of his sketches and paintings. It's a beautiful book, and I think it was only just released in late 2023, so it's very recent. I will link it in the description below along with the other books. But just doing a quick flip through, there are some really fabulous artworks in here. So he did pencil sketches and these incredible oil paintings of mostly Australian birds, but also some from other countries. And this book was compiled by his wife, adding in a lot of his sketches which probably have never really been seen, all the way to fully rendered paintings in acrylics and oil paints. The print quality of this book is really wonderful. The reproductions of his paintings are just wonderfully vivid and do show quite a lot of detail. So this is such an inspirational book for me. I really love birds, and I like to see how another artist has done the studies of them and then ended up with these beautiful paintings. It's always good to see behind the scenes. Although this painting makes me a little sad with the wedge-tail eagles and that dead pigeon, wah! But I guess he was painting nature, and that's part of it. So I have actually spent quite a lot of time flipping through this book, and I thought it would be really helpful for studies and just drawing in my sketchbook, copying the pictures that he's drawn, because they are very accurate. And I do want to spend more time just getting better at drawing. Crimson rosellas are one of my favourite birds. We get a lot of those around our neighbourhood. But just flipping through the entire book is the same. He's gone through all of these different species of birds within Australia and some from overseas because he did travel as well. Here's another beautiful painting of finches and other birds. I really love that one. They're just so beautiful. There's so many lovely colours in here. And this one is probably my most favourite painting in the whole book. That is just fabulous, all of those different pheasants. And there's even a little key as to how he drew them in, which I think is really interesting. But just the realistic detail is amazing. Let me know in the comments if you have any favourite artists or books like this which are really fun to flip through and help you to do some drawing or painting studies. Books are a good way to get you out of a creative funk. I find if you just flip to a random page and draw whatever is on that page, it's a really good way just to get the creative ideas flowing again. Apparently he never travelled to America, and all of these birds are from ones he saw in captivity in various zoos around Australia and I guess other countries. I really love that picture of the macaw. It's such a cute sketch. And that's all of it. There's a large index in the back, and I just really love this book. I'm so glad I was given this for Christmas. It's such a beautiful gift. So let's see what I've drawn in my sketchbook here, which magically appeared out of nowhere there, and I'll just flip to the page spread that I have done. You can see that macaw picture in there as well. So I started off with some very basic pen sketches, and then I started adding watercolour to them. I've also written down page numbers so I can go back to them if I need to. And of course I haven't gotten used to writing 2024 yet. I wrote 2023 first and had to put that 4 over the top. Oh, it's so annoying. I ended up drawing a full page picture of that rosella from the book, and I used watercolour pencils and pen for mine. So it turned out okay, not quite as good as his one. I was a bit sloppy with it. But I really do love this page spread. This was so much fun to do. Even if I didn't quite get the feathers on the back right, but the tail feathers look good, so I'm happy about that. So that's my first book of creative inspiration. I was able to get a full page spread out of it, and I'm sure I will do more over time. I really love the book, and now let's move on to the next one. 365 Days of Drawing by Lorna Scobie. And I just realised I have corrugated watch marks on my wrist because it got really warm and it was getting tight, so I had to take it off. I've got such a tan line there at the moment. Let's get into the book. Nick bought me this for Christmas, and my goal this year is to fill the entire book, including one extra drawing for leap year. You might want to pause this and read it through properly. But I'll keep flipping, and I did not see this page until right now. It's somewhere where you can tick off every day of drawings that you do, and it also has different kinds of inspiration like tutorials, relaxation, colour theory, and observational. I have just ticked off the first line because I'm going to show you 10 days worth of drawings here. In a moment, that is. It also shows some different materials that you might want to use in the book, from pencils and fine liner pens to coloured pencils, watercolour pencils, and wax pastels. So yes, I have been working in the book, and I will flip through those pages very, very soon, but I'll just show you some of the rest of the book first, so I'll just flip to random pages. There are all sorts of different prompts on here, and then you draw directly into the book. I don't think this paper is going to hold up to watercolour. I did use a wet ink, and it made the paper crinkle quite badly. It was soaking through as well, so I think I'm just going to stick to pens and pencils in this book. But there are lots of fun little suggestions in here. I'm not sure how I'm going to go with every single day. Some are probably going to be easier than others, but I also don't mind going off tangent if something else inspires me, or if I don't like a particular suggestion and I just want to change it up a bit. It's just meant to be a suggestion, it doesn't have to be set in stone. So there are actually quite a lot of these books by Laura Scobie, but I'm just going to focus on one book this year, because if I do too many I will burn out very quickly. My hope is to work on them most days, but if I have to do a few days together, that's fine as well. I don't really have any rules on this. I just want to finish the entire thing by the end of the year. I was getting confused here because there are a couple of blank pages, but I think that's for more complicated drawings by the end of the year. I'm going to have to squeeze in 366 maybe on that last page there. But let me show you what I've done in the book. I started on January 1st, 2024. I've been writing a few little notes in here, and the first day was to draw an everyday object, and I immediately thought of my emotional support water bottle. I've even got the sticker for it. So this is a new bottle that I bought because I just want to drink more water as well, especially in summer. I have another sticker on the back. On Wednesdays we wear black, and also every other day. The bottle keeps my water cold all day long. I really love it. I just went over the top of those apple sketches which were already in the book, and then on the right hand side it said to fill in the diamonds and maybe use a rainbow pattern, but I went for a more random colour pattern. And then I drew lines over all of them. Next up is this lovely shiny page. It said to draw trees, and as I've mentioned before, I am hopeless at drawing them, but I do quite like how this page turned out with the shiny gold acrylic paint on top. I added that later and I just really love that shine. The walnut ink was too juicy on the paper though, and it did soak through a bit, also warping the paper, which is leading me to think that watercolours are going to be really bad on this paper. This is my favourite page, the giant gummy Venus de Milo. It said to draw the statue that the people are looking at, and it's the first thing that popped into my head. It's from a Simpsons episode, one of my most favourite episodes ever, and it ended up looking like this. I think it's so funny. This page says to fill it with leaf shapes, so I was using coloured pencil, and it's just a bit of a doodle page. I haven't even finished it really. I'll probably go back to it and add more when I have a bit of spare time. Next up is a colour theory page, and this one is a red, yellow, blue colour wheel, which I labelled up the top, and this was already in the book. So on the blank page over here, it said to fill in your own colour wheel, and I thought I'd go for a cyan, magenta, yellow colour wheel because it changes things up quite a lot. I used Prismacolor pencils, and I do like how it turned out, although some were quite hard to mix. This page spread has 4 days on it. It's too hot for shoes, so I just drew my bare feet, and they are so wobbly. It's such a hard picture to draw. They look stupid. This one I love. Trixie and Gandalf are hiding in the reeds. And then up here I just drew in little pictures into the cups like it said. Most of these pictures are from total imagination, and then I decided my word was going to be creative. As it is pretty much every year really. But this is all I've done so far. I have done more by the time this video goes up, but the next one here is create a blind drawing, so I think you're supposed to do this with your eyes closed. Mine is not going to look as good as that, I can probably guarantee that. But there's so much potential in this book, and I just can't wait to fill it up. It's been really fun so far, and I'm loving this book a lot. So let's take a look at this last book, The Sketchbook Idea Generator by Jennifer Orkin Lewis. Now here I am being a bit of a copycat, because I got this idea from Miranda Watson of Alkali Creek Art. She showed this book and I saw it and knew immediately that I had to have it for myself, so I ordered it off Amazon and it arrived very quickly. It's split into 3, and by randomly flipping, it can generate thousands of ideas. But I just really like the layout of the book. It's very whimsical. This book is not for drawing in, unless of course you want to, but it is just a reference book. There are different ways to use it, either by flipping through until something grabs you, or you could just do a totally random flip and draw whatever you get. It includes a few different medium ideas like watercolor, gouache, and pencils, etc. But it also encourages you to use whatever mediums you happen to have, because not everyone necessarily has everything. But of course, crazy people like me do pretty much have everything, so I have loads of mediums to choose from. Anyway, once you get past the introduction, now we get into the part where it's split into 3, subject, medium and technique, and colours. By flipping through different ones, you can get an entire colour palette, and then it also gives you a medium plus a technique to use, and then a subject like a frog on a lily pad. So either you could just stick with whatever's on these pages, or you could just go, no, I don't like watercolour, I'm going to pick a different medium. But I always find things like this are just so great for when you're really stuck for an idea. You just go here and it gives you an idea, and then you just have to come up with something. Easier said than done sometimes, but it's interesting to see where the mind ends up going. I noticed that in the medium section, a lot of them are repeated quite a lot. But then I realised later that they do have different techniques, so this does increase the style of painting that you might end up doing or drawing. But I think there's some really neat ideas in here. I think I want to actually do a video on this separately and just come up with some completely random drawings and paintings just from whatever I happen to flip through. I do like that there are colour palettes as well, because sometimes it can be really hard to think of colours to use. So if you're limited with these choices, then it makes it just a lot easier and you don't have to think about it so much. Some of them are only 2 colours, and then there are 5 or 6 colours, I think, on others. So there is definitely a lot of potential and variety in this book. It's just a bit of fun, and I hope to have fun with it. So hopefully this year I'm not going to struggle as much with art block compared with last year. I'm sure this book is going to be really helpful. So that's all I have for today. Let me know in the comments which book is your favourite. And do you have any exciting books to work in this year? I'm so excited about this 365 days. That's probably my favourite of all 3. But they're all providing me with inspiration, and that's the main thing. So thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up. You might want to hit that subscribe button for more videos, and I've got a couple of other book videos up here, I'm sure, if you want to check those out in the meantime. I've got lots more drawing to do, so I'll see you all again soon in my next video. Swatch you later. Bye!